The Beatitudes aren't commandments, you know, go be poor in spirit. And then after you do that, go be merciful and make peace too. Jesus looked out at a bunch of nobodies, nobodies who felt oppressed and were oppressed. They certainly didn't feel blessed. And this Holy One, this Messiah, blessed them. And it must have been a stunning moment. They must have been perplexed and delighted. Blessed are the poor. Blessed are those who mourn. You know, we tend to think of blessings as comforts, as success, but in Jesus' upside down world, things are inverted. And for this, we should give thanks to God. I want to touch on two of the Beatitudes this morning on this All Saints Sunday. The first one is the blessed are those who mourn. I love the reading that Carrie chose. You know, because we tend to pity or avoid those who mourn. And we certainly hope to avoid joining their ranks anytime soon. And yet Jesus blesses them. How lovely on this All Saints' Day. In a book entitled Lament for a Son, Nicholas Wolterstorff shares his reflections on the death of his 23-year-old son. He says that over time, his grief lightened a little. But, he said, quote, it has not disappeared. And that is as it should be. If he was worth loving, he is worth grieving over. Grief is existential testimony to the worth of the one loved. End quote. Every lament is a love song. I've spoken before about Richard Rohr, and in his book, Jesus' Plan for a New World, he says that Jesus praises the weeping class because they are able to enter into solidarity with the pain of the world. They don't try to extract themselves from it. And that is why he said that Jesus says that the rich man cannot enter the realm of God because the rich man spends life trying to make tears unnecessary. And that is impossible. The other blessing I wanted to think about today is blessed are the pure of heart. The Greek word for pure is actually catharsis. Isn't that interesting? And it kind of implies, you know, having gone through some sort of cleansing. Catharsis. Soren Kierkegaard, a 19th century theologian and philosopher, wrote a book called Purity of Heart is to Will One Thing. Our human predicament is that we let ourselves get frittered away in so many different directions, and I can testify to that. You know, we try to do everything and be everything when We were made for just one thing, for the one thing that truly matters, being with God. And in our scattered lives, moments like today on this All Saints Sunday, that this kind of day brings focus. Whether we are intentional about seeking purity of heart or not. Days like today, when we remember people who have passed and loved ones who have gone before us. Life has a way of just being life. The phone rings in the middle of the night, or the doctor tells you that it's malignant, or someone runs a red light. And suddenly your calendar, which loomed before you, a relentless taskmaster, just moments before, suddenly none of that seems to matter. It flies out the window because nothing else matters but one thing, and that is God. Anna Quindlen, in her novel One True Thing, tells the story of a daughter who leaves her life and her career to care for her mother, who is dying of cancer. Her love for her mother was, quote, the one true thing, end quote. And when she was asked, did you love your mother? She replied, well, the easy answer is yes, but it's too easy just to say that when you're talking about your mother. It's so much more than love. It's everything, isn't it? We would have our hearts be purified. Yes, because we are a mess of misunderstandings about God, and we're a mess of misunderstandings about ourselves and others. But one thing is needed. Blessed are the pure of heart. Pure, not moral blamelessness, but the simple desire to be near God. May it be so for each one of us. Thanks be to God. Amen.